Hi everybody, I'm Captain Safety. My job is to help keep you safe. I want to tell you about a recent lucky escape on a farm when a tractor hit an ESB pole. Watch this video to see what happened.
Electricity farm accident, a lucky escape. Watch out for overhead electricity wires and poles. It could save your life.
My name is Liam O'Neill. I'm a dairy farmer here in Roseborough, just outside Tipperary town. A couple of months ago we had an incident here on the farm. A neighbour of mine was coming up the field to take away some timber that we had cut in his tractor and trailer. He had to pass through two fields to get to the field with the timber in it, and just inside the gate of the second field there's an ESB pole to the right. Now the track he was going along in the field just went by the pole within about 10-15 feet of it. Just after he went into the field, one of the flaps at his feet, the front window, came loose and he bent down to secure it. So he had his head kind of below the steering wheel, kind of lost his bearings and went off the track he was travelling on, and before he knew it he was after driving into the ESB pole. The ESB pole snapped in half and came down top of the tractor. The wire was live and it came down on the left-hand side of the tractor. When that happened, there was a flash, as far as I know, and the tyres, the tubes popped and a couple of the tyres went on fire. I'd say he got a proper fright, and luckily enough he didn't panic. He stayed calm enough and he stayed in the tractor. He rang my mother, who was home here, and she rang the ESB straight away. So the ESB were on quick enough on the scene, thank God. So my mother then rang a neighbour of mine who called over to him in the field, and when he arrived he stayed back from the tractor a safe distance and talked to him while he was in the tractor.
Hello, my name is Thomas O'Dwyer. I'm Liam O'Neill's neighbour. Liam O'Neill's mother rang me on the day of the accident and asked me to go over and see if everything was alright. I drove my car over the road and walked in through the fields. From a distance I could see the tractor was after colliding with an ESB pole. I knew myself to stay 30 or 40 metres back from the tractor, just in case I could get a shock myself. I spoke to the man in the tractor just to keep him calm and waited for the ESB man to arrive. The ESB man came on and made the cables safe.
When the ESB came, they secured the area and made sure that the power was gone out of the line and made it safe for him to come out of the tractor. After that, once the area was safe, he was able to go back into the tractor and reverse it away from the ESB pole. The men from the ESB advised him that they checked with him to see was he okay in that, and thank God he was, but just to be on the safe side they advised him to go into the doctor in town, and he did, and thank God everything was fine. So it could have been an awful lot worse.
Hello, my name is Arthur Byrne and I am the Public Safety Manager for ESB Networks. We all know that electricity is a powerful and safe source of energy, but do we always treat it with the respect it deserves? Making contact with or coming close to overhead electricity wires can be extremely dangerous and often ends in tragedy. Thankfully on this occasion there was a good outcome, because the tractor driver, having found himself in an extremely dangerous situation, did the safest thing he could do. He stayed in the cab and kept everybody else away. If your tractor or other attachments ever come in contact with an overhead power line, please take these important steps. It could save your life. Number 1, stay in the cab because it is the safest place to be. Number 2, call the ESB Networks emergency number. Number 3, keep others away because there will be electricity in the ground. Number 4, if you must exit the vehicle because it has caught fire, jump clear, landing with both feet together, being careful not to touch anything on the way.
Once your feet are on the ground, do not touch the tractor, as electricity will travel through your body to get to the ground.
Once on the ground, either bunny hop or shuffle, taking small steps along the ground until you are well clear of the vehicle. Do Do not return to the vehicle until you are told it is safe to do so by ESB Networks. Thank you.
ESB Networks would like to acknowledge the contribution of Liam O'Neill and Thomas O'Dwyer in the production of this programme.
Electricity is all around us. It's in my room. It helps me play. It's on our farm. It helps us work. It's in the kitchen. It's all around us. It's even out in the field.
Contact ESB Networks if you need advice on this at 1850 372 757. And in the case of an emergency, contact ESB at 1850 372 999. The electricity that enhances the quality of all our lives is a powerful force of nature and can be dangerous. Every year, serious accidents happen on Irish farms around the country when tipping lorries and high loads come into contact with overhead lines. Farmers, it is your responsibility to inform contractors and other workers where the overhead lines are on your farm. Where construction works are being carried out, you must ensure that the hazards associated with any overhead lines are identified and that appropriate control measures are implemented. Contact ESB Networks if you need advice on this at 1850 372 757. And in the case of an emergency, contact ESB at 1850 372 999.
Watch out for overhead power lines. Always keep your distance. Coming close to overhead electricity wires puts you at serious risk of injury or death from electrocution. Be safe by always taking extra care when using machinery.
When working in the open, look up for overhead power lines, especially when operating high vehicles with loads or with attachments. Look up the ESB Networks booklet, Farm Well, Farm Safely. Look up electrical contractors for advice, a guaranteed professionally executed job and peace of mind. It'll help you get the very best from electricity and from your farm and allow you to look up to a brighter future.
Paddy, a farmer, a real jack of all trades. Lack of one trade. insufficient knowledge is the main reason for accidents involving electricity on Irish farms. When working with electrical installations, never take risks. Read the ESB Farm Well, Farm Safely booklet. If necessary, engage an electrical contractor to carry out work in accordance with ETCI wiring rules. For more essential information, consult ESB's Farm Well, Farm Safely booklet.
You've just seen some dangerous situations. Here is a booklet which everybody should read. You can be in serious danger when you take shortcuts with electricity on the farm. Keep all the family safe. Read ESB's Farm Well, Farm Safely booklet.
For more than 75 years we've been bringing electricity to the people of Ireland. Today we're investing more than €3.2 billion to bring you an electricity service that is one of the safest and most modern in the world. ESB Networks, serving all electricity customers.
Did you know that installing an RCD trip switch could save your life? Every year, electrical accidents happen in the home and on the farm. Even when cutting grass, you can be in danger. RCDs can save lives.
The last 10 years, 18 people were electrocuted as a result of accidental contact with low voltage electrical installations or with equipment connected to these installations. 16 of these deaths could have been avoided had a device such as this been installed and functioning correctly. So what is this? It's a residual current device, or an RCD for short, and it is also sometimes known as a trip switch. So how does it work? Well, it works by detecting any leakage of current from the circuit in excess of 30 milliamps. That is less than 1/10 of what a 100 watt bulb would consume. It monitors the current flowing in both the live and neutral wires. The circuit supplying electricity to portable tools or appliances that are plugged into socket outlets should be protected by an RCD. In normal conditions, the current flowing in the live and neutral wires are equal. But in fault conditions, these currents may no longer be equal. When the RCD detects a difference of 30 milliamps or more in these currents, it should trip in less than 1/3 of a second, thus removing the supply from the affected circuit. So where should you find an RCD in a house? An RCD should be found on the fuse board or distribution board. It is important that the RCD be tested frequently, as this helps to ensure that it always functions correctly. How do you test an RCD? When you press the test button, the RCD should trip. You will generally see a T symbol on the test button of all RCDs supplied in this country. We at ETCI recommend that the RCD be tested at least twice yearly. For instance, when you move your clocks forward in the spring and back again in the autumn. RCDs are to be found on the distribution board in the home, in the workplace, and on the farm. You can also plug a portable RCD into any socket outlet that you are using. Any portable appliance or tool connected to this will be protected. And more importantly, you will also be protected. If your house does not have an RCD, we recommend that one be installed immediately. The best way of making sure that it is installed correctly is to employ a registered electrical contractor. Lists of such contractors are to be found on the websites of the Electrical Contractors and Safety Standards Association or the Register of Electrical Contractors of Ireland.
Captain Safety, who is out in the countryside, spots danger and is about to intervene. Stormy weather sometimes causes electricity wires to fall to the ground. These wires are always live. Captain Safety says that you must never ever handle or go near fallen electricity wires. Ring the ESB Network's 24-hour emergency number, 1850 372 999, immediately.
The electricity that enhances the quality of all our lives is a powerful force of nature and can be dangerous. Every year, serious accidents happen on farms around the country when silage harvesters and other high machinery come into contact with overhead lines. Watch out for overhead lines where you work. It could save your life. Respect the power of electricity. ESB Networks. For emergencies, call 1-850 372 999.
Theft of ESB's overhead electricity wires is putting the public at serious risk of electrocution. Organised criminal gangs and vandals are removing overhead electricity wires and breaking into high-voltage ESB stations. If you see anything suspicious, call us immediately at 1850 372 999.
Le breis agus trí ceathrú céad tá seirbhís leictreachais a sholáthar agan go phobal na hÉireann. Faoi láthair tá breis agus 3.2 billiún euro á inistú agan le seirbhís leictreachais gon sco a chur ar fáil. Bain seirbhís seo ar cheann go na córais is sábhailte agus nó aimseara ar domhan. ESB Networks ag freastal ar chulachoisteanna.
Captain Safety is walking home one evening and hears a loud bang. The road digger has just hit an ESB Network's underground cable and caused a power blackout. Always dial before you dig. Phone 1850 928 960.
Damaging underground cables at any voltage, or gas pipelines, or high-pressure water mains can result in serious injuries or fatalities to both the personnel involved and to other members of the public. This was a medium voltage cable, and fortunately there were no injuries. Worker safety and public safety are protected by always implementing these 3 key steps. Number 1. Proper planning and investigation at design stage, an essential and mandatory safety requirement. Number 2. Full use of the available utility map records at construction stage, and scanning the area with a cable and pipe locating device in both power and radio mode, another mandatory requirement. And number 3, implementing safe digging practice guidelines during excavation. These apply to all digging in both urban and rural locations. To obtain ESB Networks map records, email dig@esb.ie.
One, watch out for overhead wires in case you come into contact. 2. Watch out for fallen electricity wires and report them by phoning 1850 372 999 immediately. 3. Carry out work correctly and don't take shortcuts. 4. Immediately report any suspicious activity near ESB wires or property to ESB Networks and to the Gardaí. 5. Check that you have an RCD fitted and that it is working correctly.